last week to lead the Packers to victory, gets the starting nod today.
Well, he's a veteran, and when he's hot, he throws as well as anybody in the National Football League. Very strange season for him. One of the few times that I've ever heard where a guy went up to the head coach and said, I don't want to start any longer.
So Lynn Dickey at 36 in his 15th year, and a very fine passer. If he gets the protection, will be starting for the Packers, who at 46, 4-6 record, Wayne, still feel they have a shot at the playoffs.
The numbers you just mentioned, 6 losses, the numbers now dictate the Packers really can't lose another game and be in the playoffs. They know that.
Now, if they go 5-1, they could be 9-7, but that's stretching things a little bit. The fact is they've got to beat the teams that they figure to beat, and they're playing home against a 3-7 team, and so they know they need to win this game. And meanwhile, Bum Phillips, you heard him on the NFL Today talk about his situation, and you know, he doesn't want to be around if the owner doesn't want him and if the town doesn't want him.
Well, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about attitude. In these last few games, I want to change the attitude of the team. We'd like to win so we can change the attitude of the town about the franchise and about me. If we do that, I'll stay.
So that's the setup for this game, the backdrop as we get set to play, and that's Al Del Greco who will be kicking off for the green-shirted Packers. And back deep for the Saints, Willie Tullis and Tyrone Anthony. Tullis is on the right and Anthony on the left. The Saints have lost 5 in a row, and the Packers ended a 3-game losing streak with a victory over Minnesota last week. Boris Gregg, the head coach of the Packers, said, I'm very pleased with both of my kickers, Al Del Greco, and of course the man who just joined the club last week, Don Bracken, his punter. The holdup is because of a problem with the clock, and as soon as they get that worked out, we'll get this game underway. And there is Forrest Gregg, who has seen his team really slump early in the first half of the year. Every year he's been here and come back strong in the second half.
Well, he told us yesterday that he's had a hard time figuring this team out. He thought they'd be a good team, not a great team, but they've been so up and down on him that he really doesn't have a peg on him yet.
The problem is not the scoreboard, but the headsets. And, of course, when there's a problem, neither coach can wear one. I don't think Bum wears one anyway, but Forrest Gregg is without the headset, and we're set to go here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Sit back and enjoy this NFL football game in mid-November. Del Greco kicks off for Green Bay. And it's over to Tyrone Anthony at the 5-yard line. Anthony to the 25-yard line and finally run out of bounds at about the 27-yard line by Ronnie Burgess. So here are the New Orleans Saints. And they're all eyes on Bobby Hebert, the rest of the backfield and receivers.
Eric Martin having a fine rookie year.
The offensive line, Brad Edelman, returns from his knee problem and injured reserve at left guard. Saints have had their problems with the offensive line, but we saw them really do a number against San Francisco.
With the patched up offensive line that game, they haven't returned to that form yet.
First and 10 at the 32. He's in good low in motion. Wayne Wilson. And Wayne Wilson up the middle. Picks up good yardage, a first down. Just beyond the 45-yard line and a gain of 13 where Tom Flynn makes the tackle. The defense for the Packers, 3 men front.
Carricker coming back starting this afternoon after a hand injury. Donnie Humphrey being promoted to a starting role there.
The linebackers.
Anderson having a good year, and Brian Noble, a young hitter, is a rookie in the middle.
And the secondary.
Mossy Cade making the start at cornerback.
Mark Lee has a hamstring pull, so he's out of there. The Saints are using 2 tight ends, first and 10 on their own 46. And a flag. The 30-second clock.
Wilson.
Let's see what happened.
What you got? What's the number? Left guard?
The microphone is on. Is
False start.
Honey
Number 63.
tells us that
5
Brad
yards.
Edelman
Go first down.
was guilty of a false start, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty.
And we talked to some of the Saints players yesterday, and we were talking about Bobby Hebert's cadence. They said that he drags his cadence out a little bit. They worked on it all week to have him quicken it up. Perhaps that's what Edelman was having a problem with. We might see some of that today, where the linemen are a little edgy because Hebert is a little slow with his cadence.
He, of course, led Michigan to the very first USFL championship. The team then moved to the Oakland area, the Oakland Invaders, so he's had experience in big games. First down and 15, back at the 41 for Hebert and the Saints. He'll throw for the first time. And wow! wide open, but leading him a little bit too much was Eugene Goodlow, the wide receiver, but he had clear sailing to the end zone.
Tim Lewis was the cornerback over there. Looked like he slipped and fell, went down, and Hebert may have had 6 if he hadn't overthrown this.
Another flag down.
Second down. No flag on the play. No penalty. Second down.
They threw one, but they picked it up. So it'll be second down and 15.
Here's that last pass play. It's a short drop by Hebert. Look at this. That's 6 points. As you saw, the cornerback, Tim Lewis, slipped down.
Exactly what happened. So it is second down. Long yardage. 2 wide receivers at the top of the screen. Now one of them, Eric Martin, in motion. On a draw play, Wayne Wilson, who picked up 13 yards, brings it back just about to the original line of scrimmage following his 13-yard run. Ezra Johnson, the right defensive end, makes a stop on perhaps the best all-round back the Saints have, Wayne Wilson.
No question about that. Now, you kind of wonder, Green Bay is not a real wild blitzing team, but with a young quarterback in there now, you kind of figure in these situations they may go after him a little bit.
And they have 2 outstanding outside backers. You mentioned John Anderson and Mike Douglas. Third down and 10 at the 46-yard line. 3 wide receivers. Hebert, he can move, and the pass is almost intercepted. Mike Douglas almost picked that ball off, but it is incomplete. The intended receiver was Wayne Wilson coming out of the backfield, so it's 4th down. And Don Bracken, or check that, the Saints are punting now, and that means Brian Hansen will be in to kick the ball away. Philip Epps will go back in single safety, and there's Hansen, who led the NFC last year and went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie. He's averaging 42.7, and there's Epps, who has a lot of speed. Philip Epps back at the 11-yard line. Epps finally brought down at about the 21-yard line. We'll take a break here at County Stadium. He will line up like this with Dickey, the quarterback.
And since it's a good day, expect him to go deep. He's got 2 burners, an outside receiver, Lofton and Epps.
The offensive line, and who do they like the best of that group?
Well, Forrest Gregg, a great offensive lineman in his own right, likes his center, young Mark Cannon, and Greg Cook, the right tackle, having good years.
Paul Kaufman, of course, the tight end, who is 3 receptions shy of passing Billy Houghton on to 5th place as the all-time Packer receiver. That's kind of unusual for a tight end with some of the great receivers they've had here in Green Bay. 1st and 10 for the Packers, who have won 6 in a row over the Saints and have won 9 of 11 games between these teams. Ball is at the 22-yard line. It's Jesse Clark moving. Play action, we'll see a lot of that today. Down the middle, James Lofton. The pass came up a bit short to the leading receiver for the Packers. Incomplete. He was open. Dave Waymer covering, and Ricky Jackson also there. Taking a look now at the Saints defensive line.
Well, Bruce Clark playing like the Packers thought that he would play when they drafted him, except he's playing for New Orleans now.
Another good year for Ricky Jackson as linebacker.
You bet. And Jack Del Rio, perhaps a coming star at the outside spot.
And finally the secondary.
They're pretty solid. Play a lot of zone.
Terry Hogue, of course, has been playing the strong safety spot in place of Russell Gary, who is a valuable man back there for the Saints. Second down and 10. And they give it off now to Eddie Lee Ivory. Ivory made 111 yards last week against Minnesota despite a banged-up knee. Was stopped by Jim Wilkes on the play as the ball is just about out to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and about 7.
See his numbers there for the year, but he slowed down early because he had his hand in a cast, and it was tough for him to get many carries.
He had his first 100-yard game.
94, Jim Wilkes made the tackle on the last
touchdown reception. So it's 3rd down and 7.
3rd and about 7.
And Epps and Lofton line up to the left. Ball at the 25.
Now the Saints have to be looking for Kaufman, the tight end.
But before that happens, we had moving in the line Frank Warren. And Ron Hallstrom hooking up, and let's see if Warren just moved or was drawn. The referee, of course, as we mentioned, Jim Tunney, will tell us all about it. Conferences. We have had a lot of that this year, haven't we, with the striped shirt?
I think they have a lot every year.
Encroachment, defense, 5 yards. Go third down.
Frank Warren.
Over on the left side now. See if we can see the movement early. There it was.
3rd down and 2. So 5 yards picked up by the Packers.
3rd and 2.
Could change things, although they line up in the same formation. The ball now at the 30-yard line. 3rd and 2. And once again, Epps in motion. So it appears to be the same play that they had in mind. Dickey going up the middle and hitting Ed West, the second tight end, for a 1st down for the Packers, just shy of the 40-yard line. He's out of Auburn in his 2nd year, Ed West, and the stop made by Glenn Ray.
And the other tight end, Kaufman, kind of cleared out for him. He got a release, ran deep. West delayed a while, came underneath. Dickey waited, and there it is.
Of West, 10 receptions this year, 5 of them have been for touchdowns. So he's a good pay dirt man, and his 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Running up the middle is Jesse Clark, who is the leading rusher for the Packers. Clark averaging nearly 5 yards per carry, brings the ball up towards the 45-yard line, where Jack Del Rio and Terry Hogue make the stop. A good game.
Green Bay's going to go in the huddle a lot of times today and not call a play, Dick. They're going to come, they'll just say, check with me at the line. They'll go to the line of scrimmage, and Lynn Dickey will look at the New Orleans defense, find out where Terry Hogue is, and try to call the play at the line of scrimmage away from Hogue.
2nd down and 4. Ball at the 45-yard line. We have 10:33 to go in the 1st quarter. No score. Here's Clark again. Clark knifing off. Close to a 1st down, maybe just slightly shy. Scott Pellure makes the tackle. They love the all-out strong leadership play of Jesse Clark, who's been playing despite bad ribs. Gary Ellis played most of the way last week. Clark got in for a few plays, and they're glad he's back in the starting lineup.
At good speed and extremely powerful.
Not a bad rushing team are the Green Bay Packers.
3rd and 1.
They dominated the Saints. 3rd down and 1. Clark has the 1st down and more as he pulls his way into New Orleans territory at the 43-yard line, where the free safety Frank Watlett came up and made the play. Gain of 8 yards.
Watch number 50, Jack Del Rio. Key block here on him. Rich Moran, the guard, will pull out around and get a hook on him. See him get turned in now. The rookie linebacker's got to fight outside, but couldn't make it. A good block by Moran.
So the Green Bay Packers, who are trying to make the second half of 85 a charm, as they did last year when they won 7 of their last 8, are moving 1st and 10 on the same 43. Eddie Lee Ivory is the lone running back. On the pitch in the reverse to Phillip Epps. Epps to the 45 and the 40, slowed up momentarily and knocked out of bounds. Good defensive play, slowed him up. Jack Del Rio made the stop. Johnny Poe was involved, and I think it was Jim Wilkes who knifed through to slow him up on the play. Could have been worse for the Saints.
It was Wilkes, number 94. He's a defensive end over here on the right. See him right there. He takes a couple steps and then looks down the line and sees the reverse, reacts back. Dickey tries to get a block on him and can't, and that made Epps belly back just enough so the rest of the people could catch up.
Gain of 4 yards when it was all over. 2nd down and 6 at the 39. Clark is the running back now as Stockton moves right. And here's Jesse Clark. Misses a tackle and slips on the grass here at County Stadium and is stopped at the 36-yard line by the nose tackle Tony Elliott. Interesting story about Tony Elliott. Many people thought he was thrown off the team on the sidelines last week by Bum Phillips. That was not the case, obviously.
They said it was just one of those things that happen in the heat of a game. A player will say something, the coach will say something. Neither one of them mean it. They met, talked, hashed it out, and he's in there playing, as he should be.
Tony Elliott, by the way, will have support from the veteran Derlin Moore, who comes off injured reserve. Number 74 back for the Saints. So it's 3rd down and 3 at the 36 for the Packers. Ivory. Eddie Lee Ivory may have the first down. He needed to get to the 32.5-yard line, and Eddie Lee stopped by Dave Waymer.
Dave Waymer made the tackle.
And let's see where they spot the ball. We wait for a possible measurement. Let's bring you up to date on some scores. Wayne, in the NFL, Cleveland jumping out of Buffalo 3-0 in the first quarter.
Philadelphia 7-9 over St. Louis. That's also in the first.
Halfback option play. Herman Hunter to Mike Quick. Indianapolis leads Miami 3-0 in the first quarter. This game's just getting underway. How about those Eagles? They look like they're making a drive.
They have a chance for the playoffs.
10th play coming up on this particular drive by the Packers. They do have the first down, so it's first and 10 at the same 32. George Sepsic talking things over with Forrest. Green Bay Packers, who have held the ball for 5 minutes and 11 seconds in this scoreless game. And of course, yesterday, Wayne, Forrest Gregg said, look, simply, he's my best quarterback, whether he comes off the bench or not, or whether he wants to play or not.
I talked to him, to relax and loosen up a little bit. He says he's probably too intense and self-critical and really shoulders too much of the responsibility for the team, and it doesn't go well.
First down.
He has thrown 11 touchdown passes. He's been intercepted 12 times. This could be an audible right here. First and 10. Dickey on play action, fakes once up the middle, and it's intercepted by New Orleans, and it's Dave Waymer with his 5th interception of the year. That's one more than he corralled all of last season. James Lofton was the intended receiver, and that pass was nowhere near Lofton.
Well, it was never there. Watch Dickey here off play action. He'll look for Epps over here on the left side first, going deep. That's not there. Changes his mind, hauls it to Lofton, and Waymer's all over him. He's never open.
First down for the Saints at that point.
Right here now. There's the pump fake to Epps. And he's hit as he releases. But he knows right now that he threw a bad pass.
It'll be first and 2. Wayne Wilson is the running back for Bobby Hebert. Really threw a touchdown pass on his first NFL toss. Here is Wayne Wilson. High stepping off the left side, and Wilson carries it out to about the 27-yard line.
Guy's been a good back, Wayne Wilson, for the New Orleans Saints over the years. A couple years ago, he filled in for George Rogers, had over 100 yards in 3 straight games. Very underrated player around the league, but a good one.
Tom Flynn on the tackle.
Second and 2.
Gain of 8 yards. Colts lead the Dolphins. That's a shocker in the first quarter. And Atlanta over the Rams. Mick Luckhurst with a field goal. Second down and 2. The Cajuns from Baton Rouge, and it's Wayne Wilson. Does not have the first down. Stopped shy of the 30-yard line as the Packer defense closed. So it'll be third down. That was Randy Scott. Scott and Brian Noble, the 2 inside backers. Scott is undersized. Noble has good size. But Randy Scott has got really good instincts at his position.
And his coach said he's just as tough as you want a linebacker to be. I'll tell you, that Brian Noble, that other kid right there that plays inside, we talked to him yesterday. They got him listed at 237. And if he isn't 260 pounds, we don't know our horse flesh.
And 6'4", and you know your horse flesh.
Yeah.
3 tight ends for the Saints on third down and 1. Shy of the 30-yard line. Larry Hardy in motion. And here's Earl Campbell, and Earl Campbell is stopped. Might have lost the yard on the play. And the Packers aggressive defensively. Robert Brown, who came in as the 4th defensive lineman. He's 265.
Robert Brown.
Cumbie in there also. Reacts well to it. He just came in for Brian Noble. Watch number 52, Cumbie. And he says Earl's a picnic after trying to take on a refrigerator.
He sure is. So it's 4th down. Brian Hansen is back to punt. Philip Epps will be back for the Packers, standing at the 30-yard line. We have 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Packers came the closest so far, but Dave Waymer's interception in the end zone ended that fray. High kick by Hansen. Epps may have some room for the run back. But the Saints closed fast, and actually Epps ended up giving ground. Looking for some sort of miracle in the final stretches of the season. Of course, Bum and Forrest Gregg opposed each other when they were both in the AFC, Wayne, when Bum was with Houston and Forrest Gregg with 2 clubs. Cincinnati and Cleveland. Atlanta.
Ball on the Packers.
Gerald Riggs a touchdown in that one for the 10 points.
Steve DeBerg got hot.
Well, he's been hot. He'll be hot and cold.
Touchdown pass to Kevin House. Surprises. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Inside handoff. And Eddie Lee Ivory is stopped at the 25-yard line. Loss of 2 and a fine play by Jack Del Rio. Remember his name. 3rd-round draft pick from USC and getting better and better.
He's number 50 over on the right side. But watch also the center, number 58, Mark Cannon, comes out on a pull. He's blocking on Del Rio. And it's actually Cannon's legs back behind right there that trip up Ivory.
Still remember Jack Del Rio's name.
You betcha. It's going to be a good one. It is a good one right now.
2nd and 12.
Great name for a linebacker, too. Jack Del Rio.
From USC. 2nd down and 12 at the 25. Gary Ellis in the backfield now along with Jesse Clark. Dickey trying to throw before he's dumped, and the pass is incomplete. A penalty flag is down, however. They grabbed his foot, and Dickey tried to get the pass off. It was intended for Paul Kaufman. Del Rio pleading his case to Jim Tunney. And it's going to be an offensive holding penalty against the Packers, so Del Rio has to be awfully convincing.
Now, Del Rio was on a blitz that time and got a good push and ended up with a pretty good lock on Dickey's leg back there.
Holding. 31 offense decline.
Gary Ellis, the back.
Yes, it was, and it was the man who was blocking on Del Rio. Number 50 will be on the blitz. He's right side of your screen now. The loop on inside of Wilkes. Being held right there. Look at those hands around the outside and in the push. Del Rio keeps driving, and look at that. He's on Dickey and created that bad throw.
3rd down and 12. The Packers are 3 for 3 in 3rd down conversions. They're back at the 25. Blake Moore, by the way, has replaced Mark Cannon at center. Low snap. Dickey under pressure. Bruce Clark. And the pass is caught. Shy of a 1st down. They'll probably mark it at the 34-yard line, and making the catch is Preston Denard, the former Ram. But it is shy of the 1st down. And it'll be 4th down, and now Don Bracken will come in to punt for the Packers. Bruce Clark, who, by the way, was originally drafted by the Packers, didn't like their deal, went up to Canada, and then was traded to the Saints for a number 1. Bracken, 1 punt since joining the Packers. Joe Prokop was their original punter. They dropped him. And he kicked well in his 1 try. Willie Tullis is the lone safety for the Saints. Former Houston Oilers. There are a few of them on the New Orleans roster. Good kick by Bracken. Tullis back to the 23. Goes nowhere. And good pursuit. Gary Hayes on the special teams play. There's a penalty for Bracken to kick again. He is out of Michigan.
That's Prouts at Kansas City, Dick, and the Colts in Denver couldn't stick.
Good kick by Bracken. Will send Tullis back, who calls for the fair catch at the 26-yard line. 45-yard kick. County Stadium in Milwaukee, the scene as the Saints and the Packers duel. Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker. We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. No score.
Surprisingly decent day, too, up here in the Central Division for this time of year.
Well, now you have played many times against this club and in the stadium.
Yeah, you betcha. 30 times against the Packers in my career.
You like running around in that dirt, the infield there?
Like the dirt.
Not too much. 1st and 10. Wayne Wilson is the one running back. The ball is at the 27-yard line following that fine punt by Bracken. Hebert rolling out, finding John Tice, his tight end, who bobbled it, held onto it, and has a Saints 1st down at the 43-yard line. And it's Brian Noble who made the tackle on Tice, who's in his 3rd year.
Moved him out of the pocket a little bit here. One of the things that he can do, he's a good athlete, can move, play action fake. He just tucks in behind the guard out here to the right, finds Tice, and a little pressure off him, gets his 1st completion. Got to make him feel good. 15 yards.
He's out of the University of Maryland. He has 11 catches this year, a total of 13 in the previous 2, so he's been more in that offense working. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. No score. That's Tice again in motion. This time the handoff to Wayne Wilson, and Wilson is popped sacked immediately. Maybe no gain, and it's Donnie Humphrey, the nose tackle. As Wayne mentioned, Humphrey and Alfonso Carricker, both drafted last year, starting. Humphrey started at right end last year. This is his first time opening a game this season.
Said they had to reward him because he's been doing a fine job, good hustler, hard worker. He'll play just half the game as he'll split it with Charlie Martin. But he will start.
It's a third-round draft pick last season. It's 3rd and 9. Wayne Wilson and Earl Campbell both in the backfield for Bobby Hebert. It's 2nd down and 9. 2nd and 9. Hebert overthrowing Hobie Brenner, the tight end. And covering on the play was Mark Murphy. So they haven't gotten the connections all worked out yet with Hebert. Meanwhile, we want to remind you that college football's Run for the Roses concludes next Saturday, a game that might have a role in determining the Big Ten champion.
Always so much spectacle involved in that game anyway between those two teams. That rivalry might be one of the biggest, or is one of the biggest in all of college football.
Ohio State and Michigan live 1:30 Eastern time. And of course the Wolverines continue to win yesterday. Ohio State was upset, and you know they're going to be coming back strong. It is now 3rd down and 9 at the 43. Hebert. Fierce rush. Down he goes. He threw the ball, and it was Ezra Johnson who comes into the game leading the Packers with 7.5 sacks, picks up another one with one of the best speed rushing jobs we've seen in a while.
You bet it is. Left side of your screen now. Number 90, just an outside rush around Dave LaFari, and there's the sack.
Ezra Johnson coming back from off-season back surgery and having an outstanding year.
7.5 sacks now. That was number 7.5.
And now Hansen will be back to kick again. Philip Epps is deep for Green Bay. Packers were sending a few, and he kicks it off the side of his foot, and now takes a Green Bay roll and will be down about the 43-yard line. Big break for the Packers here. 10-yard punt by Brian Hansen.
Boy, he's such a boomer, too. You won't see this very often. We said, you know, Pro Bowler last year, 42-yard average this year. Known to kick it high, and he just didn't have a good drop on that one. The pressure back by Preston Denard, but I don't think it bothered him.
1:16 to go in the first quarter of a scoreless game. 1st and 10 at the 43. I formation with Ivory and Clark, and here is Eddie Lee Ivory. Tackled from behind by Bruce Clark. Inside the 40-yard line they go.
75, Bruce Clark made the tackle.
Finding his blockers, Eddie Lee Ivory.
One of the things you got to learn when you're a young linebacker, Jack Del Rio is going to learn over here on the right-hand side. All your help is on the inside. You got to string it out and stay outside. Watch him take the move here now and try to make a play up inside, and it bounces out. You got to stay outside on that outside linebacker spot. You learn that fast out there.
38-yard line.
Gain of 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 on the 38. Saints come in 24th in the league in total defense. And that was an audible, as Wayne had pointed out. A lot of check with me situations today. And Rich Moran, the rookie left guard from San Diego State, might have moved.
False start. Both guards moved early. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Moran and Hallstrom. Buffalo leading Cleveland 7-3. Booker Moore with a touchdown. Tampa Bay, Steve DeBerg, 2 touchdown passes. Pittsburgh over Houston.
Philadelphia 14-0 over St. Louis. Ron Jaworski to Mike Quick for a 5-yard touchdown.
2nd down and 10 at the 43. Another flag. Saints move this time, I think. And Linden's pass is caught by Lofton at the 20-yard line. It'll be a 1st down. Johnny Poe covering on the play. Gain of 23.
Preliminary indication is offside against the Saints.
But the Saints moved. Jim Wilkes jumped. They'll decline this one.
Defense offside. Right in. Penalty declined. 1st down.
James Lofton, of course, world-class speed when he was at Stanford. Still carries a lot of it with him, and you got to play him rather cautiously. Johnny Poe is a bit of a cushion. Lofton just drives him down, makes the stop, and Dickey had it timed up.
Lofton's had a good year catching-wise, but his average yards per catch down to 16. He had led the NFL the last 2 years in that department, and that's the end of the first quarter. No score.
Right for Green Bay.
Not going to break any records.
No, sir.
Wide receivers to the left. And in motion goes Jesse Clark. Eddie Lee Ivory trapped and a penalty flag down. Ivory was going to throw no matter what, and he threw the ball out of bounds. It looked like it was designed to be an option play, and Glenn Red and Ricky Jackson both penetrated, making things tough, but there's a penalty marker down. We've had a lot of penalties in this game so far.
It's good defensive play done by Ricky Jackson, though. He was back there and had that thing destroyed from the start.
Holding, 82 offense is declined. Runner out of bounds before he threw the ball.
Paul Kaufman was holding. They declined it.
See if he's working against Ricky Jackson, number 57. See if we can pick it up. Is that Kaufman 82 right there? Yes, it is. From the back, and he just give him a little shove right here. Trying to get his hands off. Watch Ivory now. He's under pressure. Look out.
He was going for the stick man on the sideline. Second down. 17 and another flag down. Whole series of them, in fact.
Frank Warren, a nose tackle, Jeff, whether he was pulled off or not.
73 defense, 5 yards.
Second time for the former Auburn performer.
He's pretty smart with his cadence, the way he barks his cadence out.
Chicago jumping ahead of Dallas. Richard Dent with an interception ran 1 yard for that score. Buffalo leading Cleveland. It'll be second down and 12. Dickey stepping up, hitting Kaufman for a first down inside the 10-yard line. So Paul Kaufman with the catch, a 13-yard gain. Terry Hogue and Glenn Red on the tackle.
New Orleans plays a lot of zone, and they'll double up a lot on the wide receivers, which will leave the middle open some. Look at Dickey's looking in the middle all the time for Kaufman. Almost played stare down with him. He got in behind Glenn Red on his zone drop.
Third leading receiver, Kaufman, is now 2 receptions away from moving up a notch in the Packer receiving annals. First and goal at the 9. Eddie Lee Ivory gets to the 6-yard line where Glenn Red makes the tackle. Good block from Rich Moran up front.
Got a great block. Moran did on the strong safety. Terry Hogue, who was up in pretty good shape to force it, but Moran, the guard, about 60 pounds heavier, just ran over the top of him.
All of you Idaho guys just play so well.
Well, Moran didn't go to school in Idaho. He was born there.
Okay.
His dad, Jim Moran, played at Idaho, though, and played for the New York Giants.
Checking some other scores. Second down and goal at the 5-yard line. Dickey with another audible here as Jesse Clark is his running back. Clark dives forward
Jesse Clark
to about the 2-yard line where it'll be third and short. No score here in this game in Milwaukee. The Packers had the best opportunity, but a Dave Waymer interception snuffed out a Green Bay drive, a long one in the first quarter. Bruce Clark and Jim Wilkes on the tackle there. Third and goal. They spot the ball at the 3-yard line.
Third down, ball on the 2.
They announced the 2-yard line. X in motion. Dickey loses his footing and goes down at the 10-yard line. And they're going to credit Ricky Jackson with a sack. And he's going to be happy with that because for the first time in his career, he went 4 games in a row without a quarterback sack before that play.
So Dickey tripped a little coming out from the center on that, but it wouldn't have made any difference. Jackson was back there so quickly, I doubt if he was touched.
So it's fourth down and Al Del Greco with Jim Zorn holding will attempt a 27-yarder. Del Greco 10 of 13 this year. 19 of 25 since he joined the Packers mid-year last season. Del Greco's kick is good, and the Packers take the lead. 27-yard field goal for Al Del Greco, and Forrest a 27-yard field goal to give Green Bay a 3-0 lead. Will be kicking off now. He's in his second year out of Auburn. And we have plenty of time, as you see, remaining in the second quarter. He'll be kicking to Willie Tullis and Tyrone Anthony. Anthony on the left, Tullis on the right. Former Houston Oiler. Packers 8-8, 3 of the last 4 years. They've stumbled early and come on strong late, and they're looking for the same story this time. Tyrone Anthony at the 12-yard line, returning for the Saints. And he's tackled at the 26-yard line. Right now, for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Brent Musburger. Brent?
Dick, the Chicago Bears strike first on the Dallas Cowboys. Hampton deflects one of the 4 balls that the Bears got 2 in the first quarter. Dent with the interception. Touchdown, Chicago. It's 7-0. Let's go back to Dick.
Thank you, Brent. The Bears nothing. It'll be 1st and 10. Bobby Hebert. Misconnection so far in the early going, making his first NFL regular season appearance. Wayne Wilson cutting inside, getting a couple of yards. That's all. Randy Scott, with Ezra Johnson's help, making the tackle. The Saints, who told you were 24th in the league defensively, they are even worse offensively, 25th in the NFL. Mired in a 5-game losing streak, and they have scored, Wayne, only 26 points in the last 3 games. That's been their problem.
And you'd say they don't have good stats on defense, and part of the reason is because, they've been on the field so much.
Charlie Martin, you mentioned, alternating at nose tackle with Donnie Humphrey. So Martin, number 94, in there for Green Bay. 2nd down and 8 at the 28-yard line. Hebert, short drop, picked up in the air. Alfonso Carricker, who was the number 1 pick last season for the Packers, got his hand on Hebert's toss.
Number 76 is Carricker. You'll see him tip this now, left side of your screen. Number 1 draft choice last year. Started 14 games for the Packers in his rookie year. As I mentioned, coming back this week off a hand injury. Has a cast on his hand, broke his hand. They wouldn't let him play up in Minnesota last week with the cast because they said it wasn't padded well enough. They let George Anderson, the linebacker, play with the same kind of cast.
3rd down and 8.
3rd and 8.
What's the deal?
They didn't check Anderson, the officials didn't. They just checked Carricker.
Out of the shotgun is Hebert. Hebert down the sideline from Martin, but is out of bounds. Covering on the play was Tim Lewis. So Bobby Hebert now 1 for 6 for 16 yards.
He's run out of room on that one. Now that's really the kind of pass that he throws best, that kind of fade pattern. And he threw it so much to Anthony Carter when he was with Michigan and when he was with the Oakland Invaders. That's really his favorite pattern to throw.
Saints are sputtering on offense. Have not had much of a running attack to begin with, and now Brian Hansen will punt, and the passing game has been a problem. Philip Epps will go back for the Packers. Hansen punting again. Hansen inside his 15-yard line. Good kick. Epps back at the 20. Has some room, and Philip Epps has a lot of room with only Hansen to beat. To the 40-yard line and out of bounds. And a great return by Philip Epps inside the 35. 46-yard return.
52-yard punt.
I mentioned that James Lofton at one time had a world-class speed. This man too, and this guy's probably still got it. Starts up. It's a little move inside and then bounces out, and they lose containment on him. See number 57, Jackson. On his angle of pursuit, loses containment. And a pretty good save by the kicker here.
6-yard return by Philip Epps.
Otherwise, Epps would have been home free. And the Packers, who have had tremendous field position this afternoon, have 1st and 10 now on the Saints' 34-yard line, leading 3-0. Ivory and Jesse Clark are the backs. Play action. Dickey to Ivory. He's got it to the 10-yard line. Wide open was Eddie Lee. Frank Watlet on the tackle, and a 23-yard chunk right there.
Get your tight end down the middle or a running back down the middle against his own defense. That's what you try to do. Ivory came out, wasn't touched, circled out over the middle, and Dickey's looking for him all the way. This is a great touch throw to get it over the linebacker, Glenn Redd. Great touch on that ball.
Going down the middle, we've said the audibles And against the Saints defense, that's what Dickey has done off play action. Here's Jesse Clark going inside, and Clark to the 7-yard line. Tackled by Scott Pelleur. Green Bay threatening again.
Yeah, I just want to go back again to that throw to Ivory. That was a sensational throw by Dickey. He can throw them all. This guy owns what? Every Green Bay record, I think, Dick, game and season passing record. He's got them all.
What they call the live arm, and they always said if he has time, he'll beat you. 2nd down and 6. The ball is at the 7-yard line. Dickey with a fade pattern, flag down, and Lofton cannot control it. It's incomplete. Johnny Poe was covering on the play, but a penalty marker is down.
Poe's a good little defensive back, no question about it. His coach Wade Phillips says he hasn't been beaten deep in 3 years. And you saw him battling with a guy that's got him overmatched physically there and make a great play.
Wayne, we're seeing more and more of that fade pattern. You know, the Redskins, of course, everyone knew about the Redskins doing it. Now we're seeing every week teams.
And it takes a certain kind of thrower to get it in. You really can't put it in there on the line. You got to have some touch to it.
Jim Tunney.
Defense offside, half the distance of the goal line, still 2nd down.
Penalty on the Saints. Those are those mistakes that don't always show up, as they say in the box score.
That fade pattern that you're talking about, Dick, is it's very effective against the bump and run, but you got to have a little room towards the sideline to throw it.
Ken Rutgers, the #1 draft pick for the Packers out of USC. In fact, the 7th man drafted. Number 75 is now in at left tackle, replacing Carl Swanke. Half the distance marked off. 2nd down and 2 at the 3. Dickey looking one way, wide open for the touchdown on a tackle-eligible play. Blake Moore, the center. Blake Moore, in his 6th year, who played at Cincinnati, wide open. And of course, you got to announce yourself, I guess, Wayne.
Well, you call it tackle eligible, and it's not really a tackle. He comes in and lines up at a tight end spot or a wingback spot, has to report on number 60. The officials tell the defense number 60 is an eligible receiver, but sometimes it just doesn't register when you see a 60 coming into your secondary that he will catch the ball.
The coach's reaction. It's like Forrest is really more into it. And Bum looks down. Del Greco with Zorn holding for the conversion, and the kick is good. Del Greco 22-0, and Al Del Greco will be kicking off for Green Bay. And Wayne, I guess the linemen say, what about us? Because you look at Richard Dent scoring a touchdown today. William Perry has done it. Now Blake Moore for the offensive line.
Thrill of a lifetime.
Willie Tullis on the right, Tyrone Anthony on the left for the Saints. Find themselves behind with 10:06 to go in the 2nd quarter. Tyrone Anthony on the run at the 15. Runs into a crowd and is down at the 29-yard line.
Return to the 27-yard line.
Next Sunday, it's a CBS doubleheader beginning with the NFL Today. You'll see one of these games, and of course all of them involve NFC Central teams. The Chicago Bears against Atlanta. Can the beat go on with Chicago? New Orleans, Minnesota, Detroit against Tampa Bay. Then the second game, you'll see either the Packers against the Rams or Philadelphia Dallas matchup in the NFC East. So check your local listings. A lot of action in football coming up next Sunday on CBS.
Green or something like that for him.
Hebert at the helm, 25 years old, grew up in Cutoff, Louisiana, 40 miles south of New Orleans. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Earl Campbell's a running back. This is a pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jeff Groth, who's back from injured reserve. He's had a hamstring pull.
Check it here now. Now, he's pumped up. He's got a little adrenaline flowing. He's got this ball in pretty good shape, but just overthrows at a touch. Still should have been Conto, and I believe it was Goodlow for 88.
It was.
2nd and 10.
Hebert trying to get things going and struggling so far. 1 for 7 for only 16 yards. 2nd down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Screen. Eric Martin. No gain on the play. Did not fool the Packers one whit. Alfonso Carricker, Mossy Cade making the play.
Number 84 on the completion.
Here's Mossy Cade, who came over from San Diego. He was involved this week with the authorities. He was arrested for second-degree sexual assault. He was not suspended, has not been convicted. The Packers said, well, we're not going to suspend him because he has not been convicted and finds himself in the starting lineup because of Mark Lee's hamstring.
Yeah, he said it's a problem, but he said that I'm glad I'm playing because perhaps I can lose myself in the game.
Saints are 0 for 4 in third down conversions. They have a 3rd and 10 right here at the 29. Hebert looking for a receiver, finds no one, and is caught in the grasp of Charlie Martin. Second sack of the game for the Packers, and Martin's 3rd of the year.
Now, one of the things that Bum Phillips said about Bobby Hebert is that he makes up his mind fast and he won't hold the ball. But he looked downfield that time, there was just really no one to get it to. The only way he could have saved himself that sack that time was firing it over somebody's head out of bounds. It was a great job by the Packers secondary on that play.
Loss of 8 yards, so Brian Hansen's in again, and there is
Philip Evans in the position for the Packers.
trying to think who that is. It looks like Guido Merkins talking things over.
And Richard Todd.
With Hebert. There's the punt by Hansen. Epps with a great return of 46 yards the last time. Looked like he slipped momentarily, but gives the Packers once again great field position. A 9-yard return. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. 10-0 Green Bay. Dickey has a lot of time and has his nose. Ed West, the tight end, dropped it. Frank Watlett was defending on the play. Johnny Poe picked it up just in case.
That was an audible to line of scrimmage that time by Dickey. He got the tight end down the middle. As we told you, against the zone is pretty effective. Off play action. Green Bay does a lot of that. But watch Watlett, number 49, come over and make a good play late. This ball's almost put away. He gets a hand in there and knocks it away.
Frank Watlett has survived on muscle. He lacks speed, but he'll hit you.
He's got more ability than people think. That's what his coach says, Wade Phillips.
2nd and 10 at the 49. Dickey. Open. Lofton. 1st down at the 28-yard line.
Want to see an arm? We saw him throw the touch a couple times. This is a rifle shot to Lofton. It's against Johnny Poe right here now. See what Lofton does with him. Working him inside, then takes it out. Got him turned around, and he slipped. And this ball came in like it was Western Union.
Does things despite that kind of coverage. 1st and 10 Packers at the Saint 28. Hoffman. Check that. Lofton on the receiving end of Dickey to the 10-yard line. A perfectly executed slant in pass. Johnny Poe covering, and not much you can do with that. Good for 16 yards.
You called it exactly right. Perfectly executed. Great pattern. Sensational throw. If Lofton can't come up with this, the defensive back just really can't do much. He can be there as the ball arrives. Poe's just a step late. And as you said, there's just not much to do with that. Great execution.
2 in a row to Lofton, who now has caught 3 passes for 63 yards.
On the 10.
1st and 10, just beyond the 10-yard line. Dickey in there. Touchdown. Philip Epps, 11 yards, and Lynn Dickey with his 12th touchdown pass of the year. Make it 13 for Dickey.
Those are two great weapons in Lofton and Epps. We told you that top of the telecast. Look at Dickey kind of look left. They come right over here to Epps, and he throws a pretty good ball in between for 44 Waymer and number 49 Watlett coming over. Good throw again.
Philip Epps with the touchdown reception, and for Epps his 3rd of the year. Del Greco will try to add the 17th point. Packers needed only 4 plays for this score. The kick is good. It's 17-0 Packers. Advantage of great field position, and they've moved the ball smartly. They've started on their own 45-yard line on their drives. That's the average in New Orleans, back on their own 27. We'll see if Bum Phillips' team gets a little change here as Del Greco gets set to kick off. Willie Tullis and Tyrone Anthony are deep for the Saints. Tyrone Anthony Anthony. He's received them all so far at the 13-yard line, cuts upfield, and Anthony brings it out to the 26-yard line.
25-yard line.
So Bobby Hebert will go back to work. John Dorsey made the tackle for the Green Bay Packers. Actually, the Saints have 2 quarterbacks they can use today. Besides Hebert, there is Richard Todd. Dave Wilson, who has started all of the games up to now, is on injured reserve with an elbow injury.
It's amazing that's all, because he was sacked, what, 17 times the last 2 weeks? That's pretty good pounding.
It's a vacation he's getting. 1st and 10 for the Saints on the 26-yard line. Saints have managed only a paltry 25 yards. Wilson and Campbell in the eye. And it's Earl. Earl to the 30-yard line.
Earl Campbell, ball carrier.
Just to mention again what has been the average starting field position, and Green Bay has had things pretty much their own way. You start in your own 45, you're in good shape. Charlie Martin and Mike Douglas made the tackle on Earl Campbell. Keep in mind the Saints also playing without Hokie Gaijan, who is really the man who makes things happen. Had surgery on his knee for torn ligaments, and he's out for the rest of the year. 2nd down and 6 at the Hardy went in motion. There's Campbell again. We talked to Bum Phillips about Earl Campbell, who really has not been a great help since coming over and trade from Houston.
Well, Bum says that part of the reason being is that they've fallen behind early, fallen behind quickly, so Earl can't get his 17, 18 carries because he's not the kind of guy you want in there when you have to throw the ball. He says he believes, though, that Campbell will prove he can still play before the season's over.
He's an optimist. As he mentioned on the NFL today, if you don't think you can win every game, you shouldn't be coaching. 3rd down and 2 at the 34 for the Saints. Of a yard or 2 on the play. Robert Brown came in and made a fine play, and you can just see the Packers tightening up at the line for this.
You bet. You got Campbell back there. You kind of know it's going to be him in a short yardage situation. And they just beat New Orleans at the line of scrimmage that time. Earl didn't have a chance.
So Brown making the stop on Campbell. It's 4th down. Back to punt for the Saints is Brian Hansen for the 6th time. Philip Epps, proven how dangerous he could be, is right there. He returned to punt 46 yards to set up the Packers' first touchdown. Good high kick, sending Epps way back to the 15. And not this time. Brett Maxey makes the tackle, and the Packers starting. Frank Pollard, a 2-yard run. High-scoring game there. Raul Alegre's field goal gives the Colts the lead again. 1st and 10 at the 23. Play action. Dickey fires it. Almost intercepted by Johnny Poe. Pass was intended
for Lofton.
James Lofton, who slipped.
And we saw the cornerback slip before, and it cost him. This time the receiver goes down. Good coverage, though, by Johnny Poe. He was in good shape. Had not Lofton gone down, there really wasn't much there. I was surprised that Dickey threw it. You'll see he's right there with him, looking back. And had the ball been thrown a little bit lower, he has an easy interception.
2nd down, 10. Lofton to the left, Epps to the right. Gary Ellis joins Jesse Clark in the backfield. Dickey. Epps slips. Pass was intended for Philip Epps.
Pass intended for Epps.
He was there.
A lot of slipping and sliding. That's the way it is up in this country this time of year. I'll tell you. And that's why it's amazing that the kickers have good stats and quarterbacks have good stats. Playing up here.
Look at those.
Tough. That's what I was always amazed by Joe Ferguson in Buffalo. Playing in Buffalo those years and the numbers that he put up when that half of the games he played in, the weather was bad, plus the fact the wind blew so much.
That's why Jim McMahon loved playing the 49ers in San Francisco. Dickey is 9 for 15 for 133 yards. It is 3rd and 10 at the 23. Gary Ellis on a sweep. Hit a couple of times and is nowhere near the sticks, so it'll be 4th down. Johnny Poe and Frank Watlett forcing the run. Watlett and Poe getting up. Tell you, the Saints are really tough run forcers, aren't they, in the secondary?
I think they've been a good defensive team for about 3-4 years now. They play everybody tough. As I mentioned, they're not up there in stat-wise this year because they really haven't had much help from the offense. They've just been on the field too much, and teams get ahead of them early, and they can kind of throttle down, and they don't have to take chances against them.
Don Bracken will be back to kick, and Willie Tullis is standing at the 35-yard line. 17-0, the Packers lead. All of their points coming here in the second quarter. End-over-end kick, and Tullis at the 40. And Tullis to the 45-yard line, and the Saints will have their breathing room here, but trailing 17-0. Play action on a rollout. The pass knocked away. It was intended for Hobie Brenner, and the Packers may be called for pass interference. Tom Flynn aggressive against the Saints tight end and leading receiver. There's Flynn. And it will be a first down for New Orleans if the call, and it looks like it is Wayne against Flynn and the Packers.
Pass interference, defense number 41, first down.
41, Tommy Flynn, who led the NFC in interceptions last year, gets there a little bit early. And he's going to think it's a good play. But he is there just a touch early. You see contact before the ball got there.
It'll be a first down for the Saints. The Chicago Bears on Mike Richardson's 36-yard interception return for a touchdown. Now lead 17-0. Danny White's been knocked out of the game. Hogaboom is in for Dallas. First and 10 at the 41-yard line. Wayne Wilson. Wayne Wilson with a fine run. Looked like he was trapped behind, and Randy Scott finally gets him.
It's a great adjustment at the line of scrimmage right after he got the ball back, actually in his backfield. There's a blitz coming in, and he evaded that right after he got the ball.
Wilson's best effort this year was 108 yards. The only time he has gone over 100, that against the 49ers in the Saints' best effort of the year in beating the defending champion.
A lot of that in the second half when it really counted in that game.
It'll be second down and 6 with 3:38 and running remaining in the first half. 17-0 Green Bay, and the Saints trying to get something here. Amen. Flag is down. We may have holding as Green Bay stormed in. John Anderson, Brian Noble, 2 linebackers, and Hebert never had a chance as he stuffed back at midfield. And it will be a call against the Saints. 3rd sack of the game for Green Bay.
Play action didn't hold those linebackers any, did it?
Holding, offense declined, 3rd down.
See if we can pinpoint who was holding.
The penalty is declined. There's 11
That's here right now coming in on the blitzes, little play action. The center. Steve Court was the guilty party.
That's 20 sacks against the Saints in the last 3 games. Our boys in the numbers department right up to date. 3rd down and 17. Out of the shotgun is Hebert. Back at the 48, slings it out to Wayne Wilson. Wilson is hit, and Mark Murphy makes a big play. Check that, Gary Hayes makes a big play because that was kind of an open field situation.
It was, if that tackle had not been made right there, there was going to be some big yardage on that play. Good open field tackle.
That's been the busiest Saint today. 2:25 remaining. 7th kick coming in. Going for the corner. His hands and he gets it. They mark it up close to the 9-yard line. And that is where Green Bay will take over with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. So the Saints have
a turnover, a sack, or a big play right here by the defense. They're going to have to gamble and take some chances if they want to get on the board.
Ball's at the 8-yard line. Clark. Ricky Jackson is there.
Jesse Clark.
And we're going to wind down to our 2-minute warning. The Packers lead it 17-0. I know my dad a lot more now than I ever did before because when we were growing up, you know, coaches spend some weird hours and you don't always get to know your kids that well.
Bum has a lot of respect for Wade as a coach himself. He says he knows everything that I do, plus what he's learned on his own. He said, Helen, my wife, always told me that he was smarter than me anyway.
Two-minute warning, and the Packers, whose defense has not been the problem so much for the Saints, they have been the victim of poor field position on defense. 17-0 to score, 2nd and 10. As you mentioned, they'd like to get kind of a break here, deep in their own territory. The ball's at the 8-yard line, 2nd and 10. Dickey going to the sideline to Lofton. He's got it. And he appears to have a first down as well at the 21-yard line. Terry Hogue was covering, and that is not an easy pass.
Well, they took their chance. Ricky Jackson will blitz from the outside, but it was picked up rather well. Lofton here, they're in a zone, so he just hauls up, pulls it up short. Dickey had time because of good blocking in the backfield on the blitz to get it to him.
Keep in mind, you have a guy like Dickey who's not mobile back there, and now's your chance to get him. But he got out of trouble there, and Lofton is off to a terrific start, having a fine first half.
Well, the Packers running backs will check the blitz before they go out on patterns to protect Dickey.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line with 1:15 to go. Dickey batted up in the air. Pressure in there. Bruce Clark. James Gethers was also around the play. There's Bruce Clark, who said drafted by the Packers #1, went to Canada, doing very well with the Saints.
Best player on their line. He's a good one. He's a force. Team most valuable player last year, the Pro Bowl last year.
Second to Ricky Jackson with 6 sacks. Jackson has 6.5. That's a tough side there when Jackson and Clark play it.
No question.
Timeout Story. Green Bay has 2 left. New Orleans all of theirs. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 22-yard line now. Willie Tullis is the nickel back for the Saints. Stepping up. Incomplete. Ricky Jackson putting the hit on Eddie Lee Ivory. Whitney Paul is in the game too. He's in there as a nickel linebacker. It'll be 3rd and 10. Lynn Dickey out of Kansas State in his 15th year. Not been able to stoke the fire, says Forrest Gregg. That's why he's been kind of lukewarm about wanting to start at certain times this year. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Brent Gale Sayers scores and highlights. And a look at the foot soldiers. Those are the kickers who never know if their job is secure. Eric Schubert, a former teacher, now kicking for the Giants. Guys changing jobs. 3rd and 10. That pass is caught, but shy of a first down. Philip Epps hit by Willie Tullis at the 30-yard line. Gain of 9, and the clock stops. 56 seconds to go, and the Saints use one of their 3 timeouts.
Use it to save a little time for them on offense, and now you've got to know that they're going to go after this punt.
Packers leading 17-0. Dickey already with 2 touchdown passes. His 12th and 13th of the year.
Telling each other out there now on that punt return team of New Orleans, don't be offsides, because if you are, then the Green Bay would retain the ball. We'll see if the Packers will do anything to try to draw them off, because it is just 1 yard to go for a first down.
Forrest Gregg is hoping for a second half splurge like the 7-1 Packers had last year. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears have raised their lead to 24-0 over the Dallas Cowboys.
Steve Fuller scoring on a 1-yard quarterback sneak. The Bears' first offensive touchdown in that.
Cardinals have come back from a 14-0 deficit to tie up the Eagles. Stump Mitchell with a couple of touchdown runs. Next week, Atlanta and Chicago. Falcons are upsetting the Rams right now. Bears are beating Dallas in the lair of Tom Landry. The Saints play Minnesota. Vikings very much in the playoff hunt. Detroit against Tampa Bay, and so are the Lions. First part of the NFL doubleheader. Don Bracken will kick at the 15-yard line. Back for the Saints is Willie Tullis. They got 10 men now up on the line. Here they come. They miss it. And Bracken's kick goes out of bounds.
Came close to it.
They kind of got the job done if they didn't block it, right?
They had big pressure on him.
Bobby Fowler with a good rush and a 25-yard kick by Bracken, and a penalty marker is down. And it's going to be against the kicking team, Green Bay.
But I would imagine it'll be declined.
Hales will man downfield. Number 51 is declined. First down, New Orleans.
Guy Prather was down too quick. And you're right, it's declined, of course. And the Saints, now with 50 seconds, 5-0 remaining, they have 2 timeouts.
First down.
And have the ball on their own 44-yard line. 17-0. They've got a good long-range kicker in Morton Anderson. Hasn't had a chance to strut his stuff yet today. Bobby Hebert. Hit and down. Ezra Johnson. Incomplete pass. Ezra Johnson already with 1 sack today. Does not get another one.
He got it the last time, going wide on Dave LaFari. Let's see what he does this time. A little stun on that time. Outside rush again. And again, it was outside rush against LaFari.
Looked like Ezra Johnson was uncontested.
Beating him around the corner with quickness.
Second down and 10. 3 seconds off the clock there. Hebert. Up the middle, and it's caught. Hobie Brenner may have a first down at the Packer 45-yard line. John Anderson on the stop. And Hebert calls a timeout, and the Saints have 1 timeout remaining. And they're on the Green Bay 45.
So you get the ball anywhere near Hobie Brenner. Anytime we've seen him play, he catches the ball. He's tight end. Big guy uses his body, kind of shields the ball away from the defenders. Got good hands.
The whole package, according to the Saints. He can catch, as we've seen. He can run after he catches it. He can block. Good combination. Looking forward to that halftime feature on the kickers, the foot soldiers. Jess Atkinson. He was out of the University of Maryland. Giants had Giants used him. Haji Sheik was shelved for a while, and Atkinson went to St. Louis and lost his job there. He's been cut 3 times this year. Eric Schubert was in high school, and all of a sudden he's kicking for the team that's tied for first in their division. So it goes.
Somebody new comes in the locker room. The kicker always wants to know who he is.
You were a kicker, Wayne.
Very insecure. And I had a little security because I played linebacker on the side.
That's right. That's right. You were. They used you once in a while as a backer. Hebert, 1st and 10. Downfield, incomplete. Eric Martin was the receiver down there, and covering was Mossy Cave. The Saints' deepest penetration has been the 41-yard line of the Packers. And, of course, right now they're on the 45, but the clock is maybe the biggest factor of all. 33 seconds remaining and only 1 timeout left for the Saints. And Bum Phillips knows that if his club can at least get on the scoreboard, they will come back in far better frame of mind. 17-0 Green Bay, and things their way. New Orleans, you can see, just not able to mount any kind of an attack. Putting pressure on Hebert all day. Again. Chase and down. Mike Butler. Back from injured reserve with that neck injury. Mike Butler gets into the act. And a loss of 17 yards. He had some help because some of the other linemen, Carricker, penetrated on the play.
Did Hebert's a big old strong kid. Got out of 1 jam, but couldn't fight off number 77 Butler, 7-year veteran from Kansas.
So they're way back now, the Saints are, at their own 38-yard line. With 15 seconds, they're going to let the clock run now. 3rd down and 27. Hebert dumps it off to Wayne Wilson. He's got Edelman blocking in front of him. And that's going to do it. Robert Brown makes the tackle, and that'll do it for the first half. So the Saints had 2 opportunities in Packer territory, but came up empty both times. Good Honolulu blue and silver to whatever they have now. I've talked to you about that. You haven't been able to talk to your ex-club. Anyway, the Saints may make some design changes with their socks and their pants, but that's what they really want to change design-wise is winning football games.
Well, the second half right now, where Green Bay's going to have the ball first, and force break style of football, they get a little lead, and he's going to sit on the ball now. I would imagine they'll be very careful, try to get a running game established, use up the time. They've got the lead.
Morton Anderson, who's a good place kicker, but hasn't had a chance to do much. This is the first time he's been kicking, actually. He did not kick off to start the game, but kicking off here, Gary Ellerson and Gary Ellis are back. And it's Ellerson at the 10-yard line, rookie from Wisconsin. And Alvin Toles making the tackle as Ellerson got away from the pack, brings it out close to the 20-yard line. Ellerson, a 7th-round draft pick out of Wisconsin, as Lynn Dickey brings his team up now 11 for 19. One interception by Dave Waymer of the Saints. First time the Packers had the ball when they nearly scored then.
In the end zone, he intercepted.
On the 25-yard line, first down.
25-yard line is where the ball is spotted. Packers beat the Saints last year in New Orleans, 23-13. Ivory and Gary Ellis are the running back. Ivory for a couple, and that's all. Ricky Jackson making the tackle. The Packers come into this game 8th in the NFL in rushing offense, and as you pointed out with the lead, we may see them try to exploit that.
Well, I think any team gets a lead like this at halftime, they're going to let the air out of the ball a little bit. The best way to use up that clock is to get it going on the ground.
3-yard gain on that play by Eddie Lee Ivory. 2nd down and 7 at the 28. Packers lead 17-0. Early moments of the 3rd quarter. Up the middle is Ellis. Ellis to the 33-yard line. Tackle by Bruce Clark and Frank Watlett. So it'll be 3rd and short. Make it 3rd and about a yard now for the Packers. Ellis, of course, has been a good receiver out of the backfield. Played most of the way against the Vikings last week. He is the lone running back now. Dickey, play action, pass, caught by Kaufman into Saint territory. Good yardage and a first down. Plus, back to the 35-yard line, Frank Watlett. Looked nimble out there, did Lynn Dickey, and Kaufman on the receiving end for 32 yards.
Yes, a pretty good fake here, too. Once they fake a draw right here, good action by Dickey. He's got the ball hid. Moves outside. Kaufman delayed. Wide open. Watlett will come over, and Kaufman, what a great career he's had for a guy who was a free agent, and he really had to beg for a pro tryout with this team.
97 receptions in the last 2 years coming into this year. And Kaufman has 30 this season. First and 10 at the Saints 35. Play action. He's being chased this time across the way. Kaufman with a fine catch. And brought down by Johnny Poe. Caught that about a quarter of an inch off the ground.
It was a great throw by Dickey, who was under extreme pressure from Jack Del Rio on a blitz, just to get it over him and to Kaufman. Watch this. He'll wheel out, come out here on a rollout right. Del Rio's right behind him. He has to throw pedaling backwards and has just enough on it to get it there, with the blocker out in front.
So Kaufman with that reception is now 5th all time. Passing Billy Houghton. 2nd down and 11. The pass caught by Lofton, out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Johnny Poe and Lofton and Dickey are having a field day. That's good for 16 yards.
Not an easy throw. Now watch the pressure that New Orleans got in the middle. There's some people with a pretty good push back there, and he's going to have to throw through some hands and arms. He hung right in there and put it again right on a wire to Lofton.
Lofton has caught 5 passes now for 91 yards. 4:35 remaining in the third quarter, and the Packers are rolling. 1st and 10 at the Saint 20-yard line. Ellis and Ivory are the running back. Flag is down. Epps, incomplete, almost had it. Waymer kind of jarred the ball out of his hand. Looked like he was going in for the score, and as we said, a penalty marker is down. Maybe against Green Bay.
I think it is. I think one of the offensive backs may not have been set for a full second before the snap.
Illegal motion. Number 80 is declined. 2nd down.
That's exactly it, Lofton.
Illegal motion, Lofton right there. You get to be illegal motion or offsides. Don't know whether that was
More movement.
a strange name to call it.
2nd and 10. Ellis out of the backfield. Gary Ellis spinning his way to the 15-yard line.
To the 15-yard line.
Tackled by Scott Pallure and Johnny Poe. So Ellis has played exclusively here in the second half. Jesse Clark, who played the first half. But Ellis is a good receiver out of the backfield.
I think I noticed that Jesse Clark came out of the locker room at halftime late. The game had already started when he came out of the locker room with a couple of the assistant trainers. So perhaps he has a problem.
3rd down and 5 at the 15. Packers trying to add to their lead, 17-0 over the Saints. Pitch to Ellis. Ellis with a blocker. Ellis with a 1st down. Ellis into the end zone. Touchdown.
Gary Ellis with a touchdown.
15 yards, and for Gary Ellis, his 4th touchdown rushing of the year to give him the lead on the Packer team.
You get around the corner, it usually means a good job by the tight end. Watch the right side of your screen. Paul Kaufman gets the block. See that pile right there that he caused? Blockers out in front. Cook, the tackle pulled. And then just great solid effort to get in the end zone.
Bum and Forrest Gregg. Look how intently. All right, Gregg says okay. Bum Phillips looking down. Zorn is holding for Del Greco. Del Greco's conversion is good, and the Packers, with 10:31 to go in the third quarter, have scored. One of the top offensive linemen the Packers have right there. 24-0. Green Bay leading here in Milwaukee. Del Greco will be kicking off to Willie Tullis and Tyrone Anthony. Scoring drive, 8 plays. That's the longest scoring drive for a touchdown for the Packers today. Tullis, a yard in the end zone. Out of bounds. Tullis brings it out to the 27-yard line where Gary Hayes makes the tackle. So the Saints trailing as the Rams are. Third quarter, Atlanta spinning the upset, 20-0. Chicago. No one thought this would happen, especially without Jim McMahon. 24-0. Next week, the two of them collide.
Hey, Chicago, it's amazing. They're just not winning games now. They're just dominating other teams.
And the question is, will the Bears go unbeaten, become the first undefeated regular season team since the 1972 Miami Dolphins? Second half of the doubleheader, the Packers against the Rams, who could be licking their wounds. Philadelphia against Dallas. Same for the Cowboys and the Eagles. Battling the Cardinals, and things get awfully interesting now as we move into the latter stages of this race. 1st and 10 at the 27. Here's Wayne Wilson going wide. And Wilson was being chased there by Brian Noble.
Wayne Wilson.
And he goes out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Brian Noble.
The Saints, and this will just wrap it up for you, are averaging 1.3 yards per offensive play.
We pointed out they just don't have anything at all going for them right now.
And at that rate, it take the Saints 8 plays to make a first down. That's against the rule. 2nd and 4 at the 33. Bears in there, and of course, no surprise. Justin Goodlow. Hebert lofts it out and threw behind Goodlow, the receiver. And I know Bobby Hebert has been involved in practice the last 2 weeks, but you wouldn't know it by the way the receivers and the quarterback are having problems hooking up today.
It takes a lot longer than that, believe me. And, you know, one real solid week of practice time. He called an audible here. Either Goodlow didn't adjust to it, or Bobby Hebert didn't really know what he had called out there to him. You know, they said he was ready. He felt confident. Stan Brockman made a great line. He said he took 7. I saw him going home with 7.
Beautiful day in Milwaukee. Bobby Hebert struggling. Has a 3rd and 4 on his 33-yard line after calling a timeout. Saints 0 for 8. 3rd down conversions. They go on a fade pattern, and he's got it. And the Saints finally get a first down. Eugene Goodlow with his first reception of the ball game for 25 yards and a big 3rd down conversion there.
There was that fade pattern, and you called, Dick, the one that we said he likes to throw, that he's exceptionally good at. And the Packers were kind of up there at the line of scrimmage that time in their version of the Bears' 46 defense. They're showing him a lot of fronts now and doing a lot of blitzing and mixing things up to try to confuse Hebert, but that was a good throw on that fade pattern.
1st and 10 on the 42-yard line. The deepest penetration has been in the Packer 41. 24-0, Green Bay leading. Hebert. John Tyson almost intercepted. Brian Noble almost picked it up. Tice was there. The ball hit him and bounced out. He was there, and so was the ball.
Wide open. It's a good throw.
2nd down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Hebert now 6 for 16. Cajun quarterback, born in Baton Rouge, and for those people in Wisconsin, Cajun, that's a French refugee. Of course, it goes back to Canada, where the first settlers were. 2nd and 10. Hebert in trouble. Sack. Alfonso Carricker. 5th sack of the game for the Packers. Carricker with his first, that's 5 on the year. So the Packers defensive line are chewing up those sacks to that kind of a number. Loss of 9 on the play. Those are great rally breakers.
Well, Green Bay on defense now, they're in a situation where they can really take chances, not have to worry too much about the run. And New Orleans has to pass. They've got them behind. They've got them in long yardage situations, things you really want to avoid as an offensive team, but
3rd and 19.
want to be in if you're on defense. It's fun time for a defense.
3rd down and 19 at the 49-yard line. So the Saints are back in their own side of the field. More pressure on Hebert. Going to run it. And he's going to be stopped by Noble. Check that. Charlie Martin. Charlie Martin, the nose tackle, who alternates with Donnie Humphrey. And it's 4th down. The ball at the 43-yard line. And so the Saints were within a yard of their deepest penetration. 1st and 10, they couldn't penetrate that 41-yard line. They went the other way, and now it is 4th down. And Hansen is in to kick again for the Saints. It's going to be their 8th kick. Club record is 12 punts in a game, and there's Phillip Epps, who had a 46-yarder, which set up the first Green Bay touchdown. In a scoreless first quarter. 17 Green Bay points in the second. 17 more here in the third, and the ball sails into the end zone for a touchback. 43-yard punt, 5 seconds remaining, third quarter. Forrest Gregg's Packers up in front 24-0. They've got the Rams next week. And of course, with a 4-6 record coming into this game and a whole bunch of teams at 5-5, they know that they have a shot. They've got to win almost all of their games, if not all of their games, for a wild card berth. Leading here 24-0. It's a 1st and 10 for the Packers on the 20-yard line. Jesse Clark back in the ball game, but Dickey wants to throw, and Lofton can't handle that. Johnny Poe covering on the play. One of the few times today that Dickey's pass was not on the mark.
It's that same comeback pattern that they've been running on Poe over there. Time it was underthrown.
Atlanta in the third quarter leading L.A. Rams 20-0.
Gerald Riggs, 2 touchdowns. Mick Luckhurst, 2 field goals.
Buffalo leading Cleveland, low-scoring affair. Browns have been in a slump. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Firing. Dave Waymer on the tackle. And that'll be a first down at the 37-yard line. Pittsburgh leading Houston. David Woodley, 1-yard sneak for the latest score. Philadelphia, St. Louis are tied in the 3rd quarter. Cardinals have come back. Miami leads. Ron Davenport with the go-ahead score. Danny White's back at quarterback for Dallas. 1st and 10. Dickey throwing. Fake left. Going up the middle to Lofton. And Lofton loses it. Incomplete pass. He didn't have possession. Watlett was the closest to him. And almost a circus catch by James Lofton, who's had otherwise a terrific afternoon.
Take a look here now at the end of it. Watch his helmet, see if he takes a little peek after he gets his hands on it. I think he wants to find out where everyone is around there. He'll look downfield a little bit. Concentration off the ball, and he loses it.
Big day, though, for Lofton, who came into the ball game as the leading receiver, 43 receptions, 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 10 at the 38-yard line. 7:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 24-0 Green Bay. Another audible called by Dickey. His pass caught by Kaufman. The flag is down close to midfield. Dave Waymer on the coverage. Hoffman, who now is ensconced at 5th place in the all-time Packer receiving leadership, now with 4 catches and a flag.
Holding 44 defense is declined. Play is completed for a first down.
He'll take the first down. Waymer was holding on with dear life to the big tight end, Hoffman.
There's the contact before the ball gets there on number 44, Waymer, that you see.
First down on the 50.
Midfield, 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Dickey. Complete. Philip Epps again. He has caught a touchdown pass today and another first down at the 33-yard line. A gain of 17 yards, and Dickey's piling up the yardage today.
Well, he really throws this ball well. This is a pattern that he's thrown extremely well all day long, and you've got to give Epps credit. He's kind of stretched out over the middle here. Knows he's going to take a bang, and does, but hangs on to it with good concentration.
Frank Watlett and Johnny Poe, they've been together a lot in that kind of situation today. Jesse Clark bounces off the tackler, gets an extra yard as he brings it to the 31-yard line. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Glenn Red and Ricky Jackson on the stop. Other scores around the league. Cleveland, 4-game losing streak. They've been trailing, but now they lead Buffalo 10-7 in the 3rd quarter of their game in the big stadium by the lake. And the Jets, who trailed at one time 14-0, have outscored the Bucs 41-7. Ken O'Brien, 4 touchdown passes, 3 to Mickey Schuler. 2nd and 8 in the 31. And a reverse. Lofton has Dickey blocking in front of him. But it doesn't get as much as it appeared as Wilkes was pursuing along with Johnny Poe. And out of bounds goes Lofton.
Second reverse that they run today. First one by Epps, second one by Lofton to their wide receivers. It's been very effective for them. Epps has ran 3 times this year for 68 yards, averaging 22 yards a carry on that particular play.
3rd down and 10. At the 33-yard line, Lofton to the top, Epps to the bottom. Dickey calling the play at the line of scrimmage. Out of the shotgun. Knocked away. Fine defensive play by Whitney Paul on the pass. that was intended for Preston Denard. So Paul, who has kind of lost his outside linebacking spot to Jack Del Rio. Paul has had a shoulder injury, made a good play.
So that Del Rio perhaps plays the run a little bit better than Whitney Paul, but he comes in specialization time on pass defense. Good cover man, good speed.
So it is 4th down at the 33-yard line, and Don Bracken is into punt. Willie Tullis standing at the 10-yard line. There's Tullis. Wants to keep it inside. And the ball, did it go in the end zone or out of bounds? It went out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like at about the 5 or 8-yard line. Whatever it is, Don Bracken got the job done for the Packers.
Let's pick up the Navy marking it where it was touched by the Packers that were over there. As it hit a player right there?
Yes, it looks
that's
like
Mossy Cade, number 24, so that's where they're going to mark it.
26 yards.
So the Saints.
No flag on the play.
Bobby Hebert in his first NFL appearance.
How many men the Packers have to line of scrimmage right now?
A lot. Hebert in the end zone. Dumps it out. And it's caught. Tyrone Anthony brings it out to the 20-yard line. Gain of 12 yards on the play. Bum Phillips. You know, we got an idea about Bum. A lot of people remember him with Houston and everything from his son Wade, the defensive coordinator, who gave us pretty good insight yesterday.
He really did. He says, you know, with his dad, it's not all winning and losing. He enjoys, you know, coaching, enjoys people, working with him, helping him in life.
Enjoys the ambience of coaching. Not as obsessed as many. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Hebert swings it outside to Anthony, and Anthony is knocked out of bounds. Shy of a first down by a long 2 yards. The ball is at the 28-yard line. John Anderson making the play. There's Wade Phillips, a man who said, you know, I guess life guidance is the term he used in discussing what Bum does with the players.
Says that Bum really never talks football in the meetings. You know, half the time he's talking about, you know, how lucky they are to be there and how to take care of themselves. And later on, careers could end. And he's worried and interested about his players down the road, not only what they're doing for him on the field today and or at practice that day, but in the long scheme of things in life, which is commendable.
2nd and 3, and there's a fade pattern, incomplete. Goodlow covered on the play by Tim Lewis. And of course, saving their money, which is an important part of what that's about.
Exactly right. He's even realistic about that aspect of it. Bum is about the team and the franchise. He says it's a money game. He says if it's going to cost them money to keep me, if we talk about the attitude of the town against the franchise, if it's going to keep him from selling tickets, then I shouldn't be around. You know, he has been a success as a coach. He's having tough times right now, no question, but I don't think he never discounted his qualities as a human being. He certainly has never come up short in that way.
3rd down and 3 at the 27-yard line. And Hebert falls down, going back. John Anderson will get credit for the sack, and that'll be number 6.
Either him or the guy that's doing the irrigating here.
Look at Earl.
In the irrigation system.
Look at Earl shaking his head. Bum, that is. Just shaking his head. It's been a very tough week. Not only that, but Jim Kovach was coming off injured reserve, and instead of making one of the 5 moves that the Saints have, he brought him back on procedural waivers, and the San Francisco 49ers picked him up, and that was like a kick in the stomach.
Well, they almost had a feeling since they cut down from 49 to 45, it was going to be kind of an unwritten code where you weren't going to do that on procedural waivers, but it's legal.
There's Epps and Brian Hansen, and now a fake. A fake, and Frank Watley in short punt formation will give the Saints a first down beyond the 40-yard line.
What was it there? It was there. They snapped it short to Watley, and there was about an 8-yard hole for him to run through.
23-yard gain on this play.
Eyes had to light up when he saw this. Look at the kick. There's a kick out right there, and you don't see a green shirt near him.
Ben Stills on the play, making the tackle for the Packers. So the Saints retain possession and have a 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. Their second biggest offensive play of the day. The Saints who trail 24-0. 3:57 remaining in the third quarter. Hebert. Pass complete to Tyrone Anthony at midfield. And a gain of 7 yards. Tackled by Randy Scott and Mark Murphy, the strong safety.
See that Hebert put some touch on that ball. You know, he's got that big, strong arm and can really rifle it in there. That one called for some touch, and he had it.
Hebert now 9 for 20 for 95 yards. Ball at midfield. Hebert looking again. Completes the pass to Goodlow, and he may, with forward motion, have enough for a first down. Tim Lewis making the tackle, and it will be a Saints first down at the Packer 46-yard line.
Hebert's looking a little bit better as he goes along here, too, in the ball game, isn't he, Dick? Now, that was a good throw. I mean, it was only like 3 or 4 yard pickup for him for the first down, but he had pressure on him again, and he was kind of leaning backwards and had to throw that ball while his body was going backwards. He got a lot on it just with his arm.
Hebert just played in 2 preseason games for the Saints. Threw 3 interceptions and no touchdown passes. This is his first appearance. He's trailing, but working hard. First and 10 at the 46. Hebert hit as he lets go of it, and the pass is incomplete. Tim Lewis was there, and the intended receiver on the play was Goodlow again.
It was Ezra Johnson that put the big pressure on Hebert back here and hit him just as he releases. Let's watch. Coming from the right side, the blind side of the quarterback, took an inside rush and hit him just on the release. Set up kind of a flutter ball because of that hit, but no one could control it.
Hebert with a second down and 10 at the 46 with 2:29 remaining in the third quarter. 1 touchdown, and in this period, Gary Ellis, a 15-yard run on a pitch to make it 24-0. There's another fade pattern, and it's overthrown. Eric Martin was the intended receiver, and Mossy Cade was covering.
Eric Martin, intended receiver.
It'll be 3rd and 10. The Saints, of course, if you look down their history in recent years with #1 draft picks, they have not come away with the kind of #1s that most clubs build upon. Now, the Saints have been in a building stance for several years, but if you look at what they have done with their #1 draft picks and what they have gotten in exchange for them, they have kind of come up short in that department. We'll illustrate. 3rd down and 10 at the 46. Hebert stepping up. Fired. Incomplete. Intended for Eugene Goodlow. For example, here are the #1 picks
Goodlow, the intended receiver,
in the last 5 years. And the only starters are Bruce Clark and Earl Campbell from that group.
Alvin Tolles, you see right there, was the #1 pick this year, and of course that's projected to see what he'll do for the team.
Lindsey Scott, who was a #1, was waived this past week.
And no one picked him up. Tells you something.
So he didn't make it as a #1 draft pick. Richard Todd is languishing on the bench, and Earl Campbell has really not done much at all, averaging under 4 yards a carry. So there are the Saints' #1 picks.
Some of the objectionable moves made by the franchise.
Another fake on punt formation. How many times can you go to the well? Not too often is the answer. And the man, 2 touchdown passes to Lynn Dickey, 1 to Blake Moore, an eligible lineman, Philip Epps, and then a 15-yard run by Gary Ellis, all following a field goal by Al Del Greco, who started the scoring in the second quarter. 1st and 10, Eddie Lee Ivory, caught behind the line of scrimmage, gets up and gets a few more yards.
Derlin Moore messed it up in the backfield. First time it called his name.
Waymer on the tackle. Derlin Moore returning from injured reserve. Missed 13 games last year. He's had a foot injury. 1:45 remaining in the third quarter. 24-0. The Saints have scored 26 points in their last 3 games. 13, 10, 3, 0 today. Second and 9. Ely motion. Dickey dumps it off to Jesse Clark. Clark gets it to midfield.
Jesse Clark.
Tackled by Waymer and Ricky Jackson.
Guys out there still hustling, though. That was just a great bit of effort that time by Ricky Jackson, who was in on a blitz and was rushing the passer, and then they dump off back out in the flat, and he flies back out and gets in on the tackle.
You know, you got to feel a little bit for Ricky Jackson like you did for Hugh Green.
3rd and 5.
When he was with Tampa Bay. A couple of outstanding linebackers who are really players who would be, you know, of course, everyone knows how good Jackson is, but has not been able to play on a winner.
You bet. Had some tough games this year, too. Played 6-8, but played with Pleurisy one game.
3rd and 5 in midfield for Green Bay. Dickey up the middle, intercepted by Hogue. And Terry Hogue is going to take it all the way for a New Orleans touchdown. No flags on the play, and Dickey threw it into the hands of Hogue, who ran 54 yards with a touchdown. And the Saints finally get on the board, and it's their defense that does it.
Well, I'll tell you, he was just all over this, too, as Coach Wade Phillips told us. He just has a knack and instinct for being around the ball. Great college player at Georgia. Had all kinds of interceptions there. He read this right from the word go. Stepped in front of Epps on a slant in and was untouched into the end zone.
Third interception of the year for Hogue. He is second to Waymer's 5. And it is now 24-6.
Number 7,
Morton Anderson with Guido Merker holding. So Anderson makes his first appearance other than one kickoff. The kick is good. And Morton Anderson, who has been...
So get back over here and quit fraternizing. Walker, don't talk to Kramer.
Kramer, don't talk to Walker. 34 seconds to go. Morton Anderson exercising that leg, getting set to kick off. Ellerson at the 1. Showing some speed. Flag is down. Ellerson breaks a couple. And with fine return, the 7th-round draft pick out of the University of Wisconsin brings it out to the 37-yard line. But there's a penalty marker down about the 20. Making the tackle was Johnny Poe, and this will be against Green Bay. So all of it will be nullified.
And Ellerson right there, as you said, what, a 7th-round draft choice, but he missed his senior year at Wisconsin. He had more ability than a normal 7th-rounder, but he didn't play his senior year there because of scholastic difficulties. I can't even say it. He had problems
on the
with it.
return, number 91, half the distance of the goal line. First down.
Brian Noble. Half the distance to the goal line. That'll change things and bring the Packers inside their 10-yard line. And Forrest Gregg, of course, he's been around long enough to know that nothing's ever in the can and wrapped up. It's 24-7. And of course, last week we were doing the Atlanta-Philadelphia game. It was 17-0, and Atlanta came from behind to tie it up and force the game into overtime. So 21 seconds remaining. Breaking it open. Eddie Lee Ivory. And Ivory carries it out to the 21-yard line and a first down. Tackled by Frank Watlett. And the gun sounds. That's the end. We start the 4th quarter here at County Stadium in Milwaukee. This is Dick Stockton along with Wayne Walker, where the Green Bay Packers lead the New Orleans Saints 24-7. Saints got their points because of the defense. Something the offense couldn't do. Score a touchdown, but the Packers still with a comfortable 17-point lead. And it's 1st and 10 Green Bay on the 17. Lynn Dickey all the way. Gary Ellis carrying. Ellis breaking a few tackles. Charges up to the 31-yard line and gets 9 yards on that play. Bruce Clark on the tackle. Second and 1 at the 31. Lynn Dickey, who has thrown 2 touchdown passes and has been intercepted twice. Diving forward is Jesse Clark. See where they spot the ball.
Jesse Clark.
Bruce Clark and James Gethers making the play. We'll see whether Green Bay has the first down. We'll have other scores shortly coming up for you. It is a first down for the Packers.
First down for the Packers.
Packers looking to draw to 5-6 on the season and get into the thick of the wild card hunt. First and 10 at the 31-yard line. Penalty marker down. Gary Ellis carrying. Gets to the 34-yard line. James Gethers again making the stop. And a penalty is backfield in motion. A man in motion against the Packers. The Rams have been getting shellacked today at the hands of the Falcons. The Rams are on the board. Eric Dickerson with a touchdown. Still 23-7 in the fourth quarter. Rams good.
The offense is declined. Second down.
James Lofton was the receiver who moved, and the Rams are in danger, Wayne, of losing their third game in a row.
And San Francisco is trying to chase him in that division, plays Kansas City.
Second and 8.
Second down and 8 at the 31. Third in 4 games, not third in a row. We'll correct that. Screen pass to Gary Ellis. Ellis fighting his way to the 40, gets beyond and is close to a first down at the 42-yard line. Rams, of course, had lost their first game of the year to the 49ers. Then won, lost to the Giants last week and trailing against Atlanta now. We'll have a measurement to see whether the Packers have another first down. Cleveland and Buffalo. Buffalo has led most of the way. The Browns took the lead and still hold it 10-7 in the fourth quarter.
Browns played good defense all year. Of course, Bernie Kosar is starting the quarterback for them now that Danielson's hurt.
It is a first down for Green Bay. Kosar really getting a baptism under fire in his rookie year. The Jets trail early 14-0. Ken O'Brien coming into his own with 5 touchdown passes, and the Jets lead at 48-21 in the third quarter, trying to stay tied with the Patriots for the lead in the AFC East.
In the draft meeting when they announced Ken O'Brien's name, the Jets fans booed. They're not doing that now.
Second down and 1. Swing it out again to Ellis. Ellis. Oh, it was a first down. Check that. First down, and Ellis carries it out to the 49-yard line. And it is second down and 4. So 2 straight screen plays to Gary Ellis. Johnny Poe and Terry Hogue on the stop. Pittsburgh leading Houston.
Ball on the 49-yard line.
23-7. That's a tight division race. And look at this one. Philadelphia, after a 14-0 lead, Cardinals came back. Eagles with McFadden's field goal leading, 17-14. Big one for Philadelphia, not to mention the Cardinals who are slumping. Second down and 4 for the Packers. Jesse Clark fighting for first down yardage. Close to it. Might have lost the ball, a fumble.
Hogue dug it out of there. He made a good play that time. He took on a guard, stuffed the guard, stood in the hole, ended up getting in on the tackle. Skinny kid taking on a 260-pound guard. He's a good football player, Hogue talking about.
It'll be third down for the Packers and about 1, and they're in Saints territory at the 49. Miami Dolphins got a scare early, but now rolling over the Colts 34-20. Miami a game behind New England and the Jets. Score in Dallas remains Bears 24, Cowboys nothing. Anyone doubt the Bears?
Or Buddy Ryan's defense.
They don't in Dallas, that's for sure. Play action. On 3rd and 1, and the pass is caught. Ed West, the second tight end, who is stuck deep on a couple of occasions, does it here for 30 yards, and a Packer first down inside the 20-yard line, where Terry Hogue and Johnny Poe finally brought down Ed West, who is primarily a blocker in his college days at Auburn.
You really can't say that this is conservative play calling by Bob Schnelker, who calls things for the Packer offense, the offensive coordinator. With this kind of a lead, you'd almost imagine they'd be running the ball quite a bit, but I think they've been passing more with the ball in the air than they have running.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line for the Packers. Ellis cutting inside. Ellis stepping his way to the 15, where Glenn Redd makes the tackle. Plenty of time remaining here in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Chicago 27-0 over Dallas now in the third quarter. Of course, they go in, they're in this game. The Giants and Dallas tied for first in the NFC East. Philadelphia 2 games behind, tied with Washington. And the Cardinals a game behind Philadelphia and Washington. Forrest Gregg's Packers moving nicely. 2nd and 6. Bob Schnelker to the side of Gregg. Ball is at the 15. 2nd and 6. Ellis cutting inside. Tough to bring down, and Gary Ellis inside the 10-yard line may have another Green Bay first down. Jack Del Rio and James Geathers finally make the stop.
Ellis has been a good back for the Packers over the last few years. 5-year starter for them. Lost out to Jesse Clark this year, but he's still quality.
Originally with the Rams, they gave up on him, as the case so many times. Ellis is going to go out of the ball game.
Christine Lashina to the fan assistant.
Eddie Lee Ivory comes in for him. 1st and goal for the Packers at the 9. Look at that first down score. Not always the true gauge of a game, but that one is. Jesse Clark barrels his way inside the 5. Ricky Jackson makes the tackle there. Saints defense has been on the field great deal of time, although the time of possession at halftime was almost even. 2nd and goal, the ball now at the 4-yard line. Packers have already concluded play this year with the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings.
And they played the Bears about as well as anybody did.
Yes, they did.
2nd and 4.
Ellis in motion. Jesse Clark turning his way even closer to the goal line. Down to about the 2-yard line. Frank Watlet and Glenn Red make the tackle. 8.5 minutes remain in this ball game. It's been Green Bay all the way after a scoreless first quarter. The Packers taking advantage of good field position, good special teams, leading 24-7. And the only points the Packers have given up, an interception by Lynn Dickey, run back by Terry Holt, 54 yards. 3rd and goal now. And carrying Gary Ellerson into the ball game. Ellerson into the ball game for the first time, other than return. They're short by about a yard. And it'll be 4th down. Jack Del Rio forced the play. There's where the ball is, about a yard away from the goal line. And the Packers leading 24-7. Forrest Gregg making up his mind.
I think it's made up already. They're going to go for it. They're in the huddle.
On the back. Ellerson over, touchdown. His first NFL touchdown, and a smile on the face of Forrest Gregg. Gary Ellerson, 7th round draft pick from Wisconsin, with his first NFL score, and it is now a 30-7 game in favor of the Packers.
Here it is, right on the goal line, and you'll see Ellerson go over the top. 5'11", 220-pounder launches himself and gets the penetration across the goal line. As Dick mentioned, his first NFL score. That ball will go on his shelf if he doesn't knock the air out of it, spiking it.
Jim Zorn is holding for Al Del Greco to try to add the 31st point of the ball game. This is the Packers' 2nd highest point output. They scored 43 against the Lions, and now they lead 31-7 over New Orleans with a 31-7 lead. 7:31 remaining in the fourth quarter. They've had things all their way against the New Orleans Saints. The Packers headed for their 5th win in 11 tries. New Orleans looking at 3-8. Willie Tullis and Tyrone Anthony are back. Al Del Greco gets set to kick off. Douglas on the right. Anthony on the left. The Rams have scored again. Now trail Atlanta 23-14. 9:49 to go in the fourth quarter of that game. Meanwhile, this kickoff into the hands of Cullen at the 5 to the 20 and upended just shy of the 25-yard line. Here's the scoring drive. John Dorsey on the tackle, and a good one. 8:03, and that's what you love, right? To use all that time.
14 plays. Packers now have 415 total yards to just 115 for New Orleans. Difference of 300.
Ellington with his first NFL score. First and 10. Bobby Hebert would like at least maybe his first NFL scoring pass before this is over. He's been in there all the way. Brings it out to Tyrone Anthony. Anthony ridden out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Brian Noble and John Anderson. Richard Todd is a story there, of course. Quarterback of the Jets, who brought him to the AFC Championship game only to lose to Miami in bad weather 10-0, has been languishing on the bench. He's collecting a pretty good salary, but it's got to be tough for a guy who is right in the focus of things for so many years to just have to sit and watch while other people get a chance.
He's only thrown 32 passes all season long.
Second down and 3 at the 32. Deep from Martin. Incomplete. Covering on the play was Tom Flynn. Hebert just missing today on several occasions, and that's all you need to do in this league. Meanwhile, here's Richard Todd, who really has not complained loudly about his situation, which is a show of class. But he can't be happy. Third down and 3 at the 32-yard line for the Saints. 7:09 remaining. And the clock runs down. We may have a delay of the game call.
Delay, offense, 5 yards, still third down.
You mentioned Jim Tunney, the official before. Dick, this is the same crew that worked the Monday night game in Denver had the snowball episode up there. Several snowball episodes, in fact. They had some tough calls in that one.
And of course, a lot of people are saying that Jim Tunney should have ruled no kick.
He's right. There's no rule for it. What do you do?
Doesn't it, right?
Yep.
Third down and 8 at the 27. Hebert passes, and it's caught. Tyrone Anthony has a first down as he brings it out to the 38-yard line. 11-yard pickup and a first down for the Saints. Mike Douglas and Tim Lewis combined to make the tackle. Here's Green Bay's remaining schedule. Miami and Rams could be a tough one. They got 2 against Tampa Bay, so the Packers conceivably could get to what they want to get, 9-7 or 10-6. Eric Martin cutting across the middle on the receiving end at the 45-yard line. And down right there at the 45 by John Anderson.
You mentioned the Packers, they have that mental attitude. They've done it before. They started out last year so poorly and ended up winning 7 of their last 8 games.
There it is again, the schedule. Of course, they finished with 2 on the road. But the Packers, 7-1 last year in the final half of the year, have done this before. Second down and 3 at the 45. Hebert is going deep. Incomplete this time for Eugene Goodlow. He's come close on a few occasions. But you can see that Hebert has the ability to air it out. Tim Lewis was covering on the play.
Goodlow really didn't have it in gear all the time running down on that pass pattern either. If he'd have been running flat out after he made his initial move, he may have caught up with that ball.
Here are the Saints' remaining schedule. And, of course, they have division games against the Rams, the 49ers, and the Falcons. The Bums was looking at 5 out of 6. He's now looking at 5 out of 5. That's a tough slate. 3rd down and 3 at the 45. 6:15 on the clock. Again, too much time and a delay of the game. And you talked very early, Wayne, about the penchant for Bobby Hebert to drag the count out.
Well, they're showing him some different looks up there, too. They dropped a linebacker down to 3-point stance. They actually had like 6 down linemen on that play.
Brent Musburger with an NFL Today report now.
Well, Dick, the legend continues. William Perry, a blocking back. The Bears trying to score inside the 5. He'll lead Walter Payton around the right side. Here comes the cornerback. Perry's responsibility. He levels him. Now Payton is stood up at the 1-yard line. Watch Perry. I got to help my little friend. He picks him up. He carries him. That's illegal, Dick. But the Bears still lead 30-0. Let's go back to you.
You got to let it.
That's great.
Hey, Clinksdale did the right thing. He hit the deck.
He ain't my brother. Not so true. Pass complete. Eric Martin in Green Bay territory in the open field. And Eric Martin has it at the 25-yard line. And Bobby Hebert with a 34-yard play, and Martin got in between the defenders. John Anderson and Gary Hayes made the tackle.
Eric Martin, who's been a starter all year for New Orleans in his rookie season, was a training camp surprise for them. Some fellows called him a gamer. He's a lot better in game situations than he is in practice.
1st and 10 at the 26. And the pass is complete this time to Larry Hardy with his first reception of the ball game. A hurry-up offense for the Saints, who are trailing by 24 points in less than 5.5 minutes remaining. So they're practicing their 2-minute drill. 1st and 10 at the 14. Deepest penetration for the offense. Tyrone Anthony down at the 11-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down now. Stop made by Brian Noble. Packers have had real good success with number 5 draft picks. Brian Noble this year, the linebacker, and Tom Flynn last year, the free safety. 2nd down. Hebert. And the pressure completes the pass inside the 10-yard line. Eugene Goodlow wheeled down by Tim Lewis. And it'll be 3rd and a couple for the Saints, who need to get about the 5-yard line to get another 1st down.
Great throw by Hebert. He was under a lot of pressure. Again, got it down there all with arm. They were all over him. He couldn't get any leverage on that throw.
And Hebert does on this drive, including a 34-yard pass to Eric Martin. The offense has not been able to generate a touchdown. Handoff. Merkins back to Hebert. Touchdown, New Orleans. A handoff to Guido Merkins, who is the emergency quarterback, who's also a wide receiver, who's also a holder, and I can go on. And he threw it back to the quarterback. The Bears have done it this year, and here's how they did it.
Yes, it's the only time it's legal. The only time the quarterback can be an eligible receiver is out of the shotgun formation. Hebert wide open. Did kind of a cross-handed catch of it, which was a little shaky, but nevertheless came up and got him 6.
Well, William Perry caught his cross-handed, so maybe that's the way to do it.
It's a new style.
So Hebert does not get his first NFL pass for a touchdown as Anderson kicks, but he gets his first NFL score pass from Guido Merkins to Bobby Hebert. It is 31-14, and this is the kind of a day that an offensive lineman and a quarterback have caught touchdown passes with.
We're going to see, you can see that they're all stacked over here now for an onside kick. Both teams.
Morton Anderson.
This will be like a wrestle royal here.
Which side do you think he's going to kick it to? Morton Anderson does not go 10 yards. Out of bounds in the play. (31-14) the score. The offense has generated 1 touchdown. The defense for the Saints, and the Packers have been comfortably ahead.
Kickoff, out of bounds. Free kick, 5 yards. Kickoff, out of bounds.
Still has to go 10 yards. As they will kick now from the 30-yard line, will Morton Anderson.
Green Bay could have come up with that ball if it doesn't go 10, but New Orleans can't.
They got all their receivers, defensive backs people with good hands on that side for Green Bay, and Mark Murphy is right there to cover up immediately, and that's where the Packers will have it at the 41-yard line of New Orleans. So Green Bay was prepared. Chicago 30-0. Keep in mind the Cowboys have not been shut out in 15 years. The last time was 38-0 to St. Louis back in 1970. Jets rolling all over Tampa Bay. Minnesota-Detroit will play later today, and that is going to have a factor in the Central Division standings. If Chicago wins now, and they're leading, and they look like they will, they'll be 11-0, keeping their unbeaten hopes alive. Minnesota-Detroit, one of them will go 6-5, the other will drop down, and Green Bay 5-6. Jim Zorn is now in at quarterback for the Packers. 1st and 10 at the 40. And it's Ellerson up the middle, picking up 7 yards on that first play. So the former Seattle Seahawk, who was sent packing, started against Minnesota, nearly beat Chicago. He's back in there in relief of Lynn Dickey, who has had a terrific afternoon. Second down and 4 at the 34-yard line, and we'll get back to the Central Division standings. Gary Ellis with a terrific move, and penalty markers are down. Jack Del Rio knocked him out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. They mark it just outside the 20, and good exhibition of running by Ellis, 14 yards. Face mask call and personal foul against New Orleans.
You mentioned Dickey's number. You mentioned that he had a sensational day. Dickey did 22 of 35 for 312 yards, over 300 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. Here's this. It almost looked like New Orleans on defense, expecting him to bounce out of bounds right here, and he doesn't. He cuts back up inside and gets some more. Good straight arm there on Del Rio, and Glenn Red comes in and helps out.
Del Rio on the face mask, however, and they'll spot the ball now at the 10-yard line. So there's Lynn Dickey, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he was sharp today. 1st and 10 for the Packers just outside of the 10-yard line of the Saints with 3:31 remaining. 31-14. Ellis and Ellerson are the backs, and it's Ellerson, the rookie who scored his first NFL touchdown, hit by Bruce Clark for about no gain on the play. Bears now leading 37-0. Calvin Thomas, a 15-yard run. So getting back now to the standings. Minnesota, Detroit in the wild card hunt, and Green Bay, you'd have to say, would be also with a win today.
We said that all along. The numbers say, though, that they probably can't lose again and be in the hunt.
The 49ers, the Eagles, the Redskins also at 5-5. Ellison to about the 8-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down. 49ers are playing Kansas City. Tolles on the tackle, by the way, on Ellerson. Philadelphia, an important game with the Cardinals, and leading 24-14. Ernest Jackson with a 51-yard touchdown run.
3rd and 8.
There's that score, and the Eagles keeping it going. They played well. They have beaten St. Louis and Dallas. Looks like they could be beating St. Louis again. The Browns break a 4-game losing streak and beat Buffalo 17-7. Final score. 3rd down and 8. Penalty marker down, and Ellison goes wide. 5 and knocked out of bounds.
Ellison, flag on the play.
Don't forget, the Packers could get a first down without scoring a touchdown, but there was a flag. Watlett and Johnny Poe caught up to Ellison, who got ahead of Steengo.
An early flag and a late flag. Might be offsetting. We'll see.
Fouls on both teams. Will offset. Holding, offense, offside, defense, replay.
Precisely.
3rd down.
Mr. Walker. 2 minutes and 1 second to go, so we'll get another playoff before the 2-minute warning. Rams, as we told you, coming back with 2 scores, but still trailing the Falcons 23-14. Pittsburgh rolling over Houston. Pittsburgh could go 6-5 with that win. Once again, Chuck Noll's team right where they usually are, near the top of that division, the AFC. So again, it's 3rd down and 8. Zorn rolling out, fired, caught, touchdown. Preston Denard, who is in motion, catches the touchdown pass from 8 yards out. And Jim Zorn gets into the act, and it's now a 37-14 game.
His side to roll out to, his side to throw to. Zorn, the left-hander. Denard was in motion, just ran a little pattern out in the flat. It was open all the way, and Zorn had it right where it should be, right on the shelf for him.
Only the 7th reception of the year and the first touchdown for Preston Denard. 1:57 remaining. Our 2-minute warning is in effect, and we'll be back to Milwaukee after this. Now by Al Del Greco with the Zorn holding. So the 2-minute warning is history. Del Greco is perfect again, and it's now 38-14 in favor of the Way. And deep, David Rackley and Willie Tullis. Tullis on the left and Rackley on the right. He's a rookie free agent from Texas Southern for the Saints, and Del Greco kicks it off, and here's Rackley at the 6-yard line. Rackley in the open field to the 40, to midfield. Rackley down the sideline, steps out of bounds. And what a return by Rackley. His first kickoff return. And he goes 71 yards with it before Gary Hayes pushes him out of bounds.
Just opened up beautifully for him. The minute he got the ball, started upfield, got a couple blocks and had a corridor run through, and really wasn't touched until he was driven out of bounds.
71 yards. David Rackley, who was with the USFL and then went to training camp with San Diego before they dropped him, and then the Saints picked him up. So it's 1st and 10. Bobby Hebert, the quarterback. The ball is at the Green Bay 32 with 1:47 to go. This issue has been long decided. 38-14 is the score. Hebert finds Tyrone Anthony. Coming up from the secondary is Tim Lewis with a fine play as Anthony was running away from Mike Douglas.
Number 26, Tim Lewis made the tackle. Second and 1.
Less than a minute and a half to go.
I have to give Bobby Hebert a passing grade today.
I was going to ask you what you thought overall. Anthony stopped almost in his tracks.
Tackle
by Mike Butler.
And we got put in a bad situation early. They fell behind, kind of had to throw. They didn't have anything going on the ground, couldn't run. Really a tough spot for a quarterback, but he's gotten better as the game has gone along.
And he has some experience, and he's been in big games before. Goes play action route this time. Pass knocked away. Good low. The intended receiver, and Tim Lewis, who's had an outstanding game. Lewis had 7 interceptions last year and has only 1 this year. Tom Flynn had 9 to lead the conference last year and has none this year. Coming into the game, the Packers had only 7 interceptions. And they still have 7. Look at the score in Dallas.
Wow.
Dennis Gentry gets into the action with a touchdown. 44-0 in favor of the Bears, and that's with Jim McMahon on the bench. 4th down and 2. Hebert tipped, knocked away. It was Gary Hayes who got a handout on the pass intended for Eric Martin. So on 4th down, the Saints are incomplete with their pass, and now Green Bay will take over on downs with 50 seconds to go and will undoubtedly run this one out. And for Bum Phillips, it's a long trek to the upper Midwest.
Be back up here again next week when they play the Minnesota Vikings.
50 seconds remaining. 38-14. Packers scored 17 points in the second quarter, led 17-0 at halftime, and that decided things for all intents and purposes. We're going to just run out the clock.
down the ball.
The Green Bay Packers, the game that they needed to win with any kind of outside playoff hopes. Seconds and running. Dorn in relief from Dickey. And that should do it. And the Green Bay Packers will have won this one, their second in a row. Forrest Gregg gets another victory, and he's 5-6 on the year. 38-14 over the New Orleans Saints. For Wayne Walker, Dick Stockton saying so.